Hello, I'm Nicole Danielle.
And I'm Megan Lee. And this is Romance on the Rocks, where two bookish biddies imbibe and talk about the romance novels that they have been reading. And this time around, it is for Arr-gust. It's our second pirate novel for the theme right now. Oh boy, it's been a wild ride so far.
It has. And what are you drinking this evening, Megan?
I decided that I was going to go with very simple. It's White Claw, and I specifically chose the blood orange because, first of all, it's piratey stuff. We've got the wave up here, and one of my characters is a vampire, so I thought blood orange and the White Claw. But then to really plus it up, I poured it in a glass and added a little blue curaçao. So I made it all oceany.
It's very blue.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be blue without the blue curaçao, but I was like, if I'm going to make this as, oceany as possible, I did try to look to see if there was anything called witchy waters or something like that, but not really. There is a cocktail called the Sea Witch, which is named after Ursula, but I didn't have any of those things in the house, so we went simple.
Okay.
And you, what are you drinking?
I am drinking something called the Oceanside.
Ooh.
Which uses gray whale gin, which you and I discovered last year. And I'm in love with it. I love it. And I felt like it was appropriate. And then it has lime juice and a little bit of simple syrup and then sea salt because we like things salty. And then leaves and a little bit of soda water. So, yeah.
That sounds perfect. I like that.
It's quite refreshing as I sweat my balls off in this closet.
Which, my apologies. Okay, you guys. So tonight, technology has not at all been my friend. My computer is running on hamster power, and I still can't open Google Chrome. It is just not happening right now. So I had to move myself over to Microsoft Edge, but we had to shut down and start back up. And that's like a 25-minute process. Anyway, it's a thing. So Nicole has been sequestered in the hot closet for a long time, waiting for me to be able to get on here. So my apologies, my lady.
It's all good.
Oh, boy.
I'm just considering it a weight loss plan.
Not the best plan. Drinking alone in a closet is not anybody's idea of a good weight loss plan. I feel like that's an entirely different problem.
Well, you are up first this time, my lady. So what have you read for Arr-gust? Please tell me it's better than your last pirate romp.
So much better, which was not difficult to do. Let's be fair. No, girl, we had a Katee Robert. And for me, I love me a good Katee Robert. There's been, I think, one I've read that I had a hard time with, and I'm not going to go back to that series. But aside from that, loving it. Hunt on Dark Waters by Katee Robert. Didn't do a whole hell of a lot of show notes tonight, to the tune of none. I did none show notes tonight. Not only was I having technology problems, I was having pet problems. We're just going to go with what I'm feeling in my heart. And we will start with just explaining. We're going to explain the book. The basic premise is that we have Evelyn. She is a witch. And in her world, she has been dating a vampire named Lizzie. She and Lizzie seem like they're a decent enough match, but Lizzie is a very powerful vampire. She's got a lot of family obligations. Evelyn is powerful in her own right as a witch, but probably not to the level that Lizzie is. And after a night out drinking, Lizzie goes to take Evelyn home, tuck her in bed, and Evelyn gets awoken very quickly and rushedly because Lizzie's family is coming home and Lizzie's mother is apparently just terrifying. And Lizzie basically throws her out of the house and is like, you got to leave now or my mom is going to kill you because she is not going to like that we're together. And then Lizzie just turns around and walks away. So Evelyn's like, what the hell, man? Like, that's so uncool. That's like how we're just leaving it. Basically, Lizzie's like, yeah, I go. Don't care anymore. So Evelyn takes off out of the house. She has to get out of there before Lizzie's mom gets there. And because she's so upset and she's so angry at Lizzie, on her way out, she pockets some things that she probably shouldn't take. She has been known to have some sticky fingers in the past. It kind of gives her a little rush to see what she can get away with. So she steals some family jewels from Lizzie on her way out. She's wandering through kind of like a dark area, gets herself through some weird door, and ends up falling into almost like a portal to another part of a world. Plops herself down in the middle of the ocean in a place she has no idea where she is. And before she drowns, she gets scooped up by this passing ship. On this passing ship is Bowen. Bowen is our sea captain. He's also telekinetic, so he can like lift things with his mind and move stuff around. And he's also very powerful in his own right. So we've got some very powerful beings in this book. Bowen is part of the Coon and Noon, which is a wandering band of pirates, but they have a larger purpose. So it's not like every pirate ship for themselves. They are all part of this bigger thing, the Coon and Noon, which is out to rid the world of monsters. And they also answer to a higher council. But when they pick up stragglers that have fallen into the world, they basically are giving these strangers two choices. Join us, be part of our band of merry murderers, or we'll just kill you right now. That's your choice.
Option A or option B.
Yeah. Yeah. So, of course, Evelyn is like, yeah, sure, I'll join your merry band. The whole time, not meaning any of it. And Bowen is like, you realize this is a blood oath. You are going to be bound to it. And if you decide to run, we will hunt you down and kill you. This is how serious this is. And she's like, oh, yeah. So she joins them and immediately starts to question everything, like why they're doing things the way they do, who defines what a monster is.
Oh.
Right? Why are we going in and killing these supposed monsters? Who is asking us to do this? Did someone invite us to come do this? And it becomes very clear that the Coon and Noon is almost cult-like. And yeah, there's a lot of religious overtones, political overtones, things going on, and you can really see how Katee Robert pulled from some things that are maybe happening in our world right now. Evelyn is questioning things, and these scenarios are coming up of what is a monster, who's asking us to do this, why are we not questioning, why are we following blindly, where are these leaders coming from? You can see Bowen start to maybe deconstruct everything he has learned and believed in. And so that's very interesting to kind of see that happen. I don't want to give too much away. The important thing to know is that the ex-girlfriend Lizzie follows through the thresholds in order to try and bring back her family jewels. And so now Evelyn and Bowen are being hunted by this powerful vampire while they are also out hunting monsters and starting to question everything that's going on in this world. I really enjoyed this story. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really interesting. I always enjoy Katee Roberts' writing. This was such a relief to read a pirate story in this vein.
Yeah.
Which was so unlike last week. There was so much consent and care and actual love and not just lust. There was plenty of lust, but you're still going at it from people who are a little bit more emotionally complex in a way that made sense. So thank you, Katee Robert, for that. And funny enough, I was at my grandmother's house this past weekend. I was just finishing this book, and I ran over to the Minocqua Public Library because I like to go to their sales shelf and see what they've got. And look what I found, which is Blood on the Tide by Katee Robert, the book that follows this one that I just read.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. I already finished it. So,
is it a sequel?
There is a 3-part series, and the other one already exists because this one, I didn't look to see the publishing date on Hunt on Dark Water, but Blood on the Tide was 2024. So I now have to go find Rebel in the Deep, which was written in 2025. So
Okay.
I'm already 2 parts into this 3-part series, if that tells you anything about how much I enjoyed this in comparison.
Okay.
So I will give it, I'll give it a jalapeno.
A jalapeno, okay.
Yeah, that's about where that stands with me. And
slow burn, Megan? Was it a slow burn?
no, I wouldn't say so. There was early enough stuffs going on. Oh, another fun thing about this book was I picked this up as secondhand at Half Price Books. And whoever had it before me made 2 notes in this book before I even got it.
Do share.
So, yeah. Of this sentence, the sentence is, he might be handsome too, in an earthy kind of way. This person writes, what does that even mean? And I'm like, did they not understand the earthy kind of way? Was he like, I don't know, very musky? Was he like full of dirt? I'm not real sure, but I liked that. And then the other one, her skin is pale enough that I want to get undercover before the sun has its way with her. And this person writes, but hold on, this person writes, this is how I'll be referring to sunburn from here on out. So I enjoyed that too. And I'm like, yeah, we should all start doing that. Oh, I must get inside before the sun has its way with me.
Yes, I like it.
I do have a quote that I really enjoyed and felt like I needed to kind of internalize because I do feel like I fall into this trap sometimes. And the quote is, putting in extra effort for no damn reason doesn't make you a saint. And I do feel like quite often I will find myself busting my ass or trying super hard in some sort of Midwest work ethic sort of way when it doesn't necessarily matter. That amount of effort I'm putting in is not the be all end all. I liked that. And I highlighted that to remind myself that putting in all that extra effort doesn't necessarily matter or make me a better person of some sort. So that's what I got. Nicole, you have Fabio.
Fabio. I have Pirate by Fabio, and I just now realized he has a large hoop earring, and I did not notice that the whole time I've been staring at this book, but whatever.
I did wear hoops tonight. I told you I changed my earrings. I changed them to hoops.
All right, let me grab my show notes here.
Show notes.
Show notes.
Nothing more than show notes.
Right? So, Pirate by Fabio. And he has a last name. I did not know this. I don't know why it surprised me that he has a last name, but it did. Lanzoni.
Oh. No, that's not right.
Lanzoni.
There you go. That's a little bit better.
Fabio Lanzoni. It was funny to me. I'm like, Lanzoni? Yeah. Lanzoni.
I mean,
he also had a ghostwriter, Eugenia Riley. I thought it was a cool name. Published in 1993, which I would have been 15 years old and either a freshman or a sophomore in high school. This is in the subgenre of historical romance audiobooks. I checked to see if this was an audiobook just for shits and giggles. No, sadly, Megan, this story is only available in paperback. Though I think, Megan, Fabio is missing out on a rich opportunity to monetize on some audiobooks of his romance novels, of which there are 8.
May I ask, when you say there are no audiobooks, you are saying there are no digital audiobooks or there are just no CDs or tapes available?
As far as I know, nothing.
Okay. All right.
At least on the Amazons and the Libro FM. He has 8 books. Pirate, Rogue, Viking, which I also have a copy of that one. Comanche, Champion. I know, right? I'm like cringing as I say it. Champion, Dangerous, and Wild and Mysterious. And Wild and Mysterious is one book, not two separate books.
No, I was just going to say, he can't break out like that. He had a good thing going. Should have been 9 books.
So spanning 1993 to 1998, I don't know why Fabio stopped. What brought that to a halt? Because, I mean, that's some pretty prolific books. I don't know.
Writer's cramp.
Something. Anyway, I think if Fabio went back, and with the exception of the one title I named for obvious reasons, I think if he went back and did some audiobook narration, I think he could remonetize on these books and spring a little life back into them.
Are they worth doing that?
I don't know, but I think it'd be hilarious for my own personal entertainment.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay, main characters. We have Marco Glaviano, a privateer and displaced Venetian, which Carlos de la Guerra in my last pirate book, Poppy and the Pirate, was also a privateer. And Megan, I gotta tell you, with 2 privateer books in a row, I'm a little bummed that I didn't get any legit pirates in either one of my books.
Sorry.
I know, I'm bummed, but, I guess we'll just work with the privateers here. His family is deceased, and now he spends his time privateering in service of the British Crown on his ship La Spada, when he isn't banging one of his mistresses on his private island where he and his crew and their families and lovers live. Then we have Christina Abbott. At the start of our novel, Christina is a 12-year-old heiress whose parents have died in a shipwreck and has been sent to Edisto Island, an island known to be regularly raided by pirates. Her guardian and the executor of her parents' estate have sent her to this island. That is a known pirate raiding haven. We'll get to that later. The plot line. I feel like I have to go Sophia from Golden Girls on this one. Picture it. 1742. Off the South Carolina coast on Edisto Island. That's as far as I got with my Sophia impression. Not very good. But, Megan, I believe your pirate novel last week took place also in this vicinity off the South Carolina coast.
It started in the Carolinas, yeah.
Yeah, so here we go. We're starting in the Carolinas again. And at this time, some Spanish pirates are pirating. The usual plundering, pillaging, and raping. Little Christina Abbott and her nursemaid come stumbling out of their cottage in the middle of the night in the midst of all this, and Marco is immediately enraptured by her youth and beauty and innocence. He sees the 2 females are in imminent danger of being raped and pillaged and rescues Christina, allowing her nursemaid to come with them. Marco instantly becomes Christina's knight in shining armor, and she starts crushing on him hard from the start. He takes Christina to his private island to raise her as his ward, and he has no plans beyond that. He's just going to let her grow up sort of wild and carefree on the island with the other pirate kids. The only one who knows Christina is an heiress is the nurse. Not even Christina herself knows, and the maid is not telling anyone. One of Marco's crew offers to marry the girl when she gets a little bit older in a couple years, at the ripe old age of 14.
Why? How does she not know she's an heiress? How she just doesn't realize she had. Okay.
Meh. But anyway, one of the crew offers to marry her in a couple of years when she comes of age at 14/15, which technically, yes, is considered a marriageable age in some circles at that time in history. I will give this to Marco's credit. He insists she's far too young and deserves to enjoy her childhood, and that no one at all will be allowed to marry her until she is a full-grown adult of at least 18 or 19, maybe 20. Well, Christina is still a child. She somehow gets Marco to agree to marry her when she turns 18. He thinks it's a joke, and yeah.
Ugh,
she's like, Marco, will you promise to marry me someday? And he's like, ha, sure, little lady. And he's like, she'll forget about this. She's just a kid. What does she know? And so he agrees to it. Idiot. Christina ends up growing up into a spoiled, bitchy brat by the time she's 18. Marco and her are 10 years apart, so now he's 28. By that time, she's ready to make Marco hers and will stop at nothing to do so. She plays nasty pranks on Marco's mistresses and puts herself in harm's way and manipulates a shit ton of other people in an effort to try to seduce Marco and force him into marriage. Marco has zero interest in marriage and isn't willing to reduce Christina to the status of a mistress or whore because he knows she came from some kind of reputable family. So he brings in an old family friend from Venice, Italy, who has a son who's just a couple of years older than Christina, much more closer age proximity, and who happens to be looking for a wife. And then Marco knows he needs to get her off the island at that point because she's turning into a little hussy. He's always thought of her as a little sister, allegedly, but now he's becoming physically attracted to her and he just doesn't want to go there. He loves being at sea on his ship and doesn't feel he's ready for marriage, which he knows is what Christina ultimately wants. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil this book and summarize it to some key plot points because it's a 90s book and who the fuck cares at this point?
I'm not reading it.
Yeah. Christina does some really dumb shit in her efforts to make Marco hers. She thinks she's been in love with him since the day that they met at her ripe old age of 12. But honestly, Meghan, she is so childish and immature and headstrong. I question if she still, even at the ripe old age of 18, understands what the fuck love is. Because I don't think she does. She heavily flirts and physically entangles herself with one of Marco's crew members, and then this boy that Marco wants her to marry, to the point of almost getting raped a couple of times. And I'm gonna say, not that I think any woman is at fault for shitty male behavior, and a woman has a right to say no at any time, even if she starts something, but also anyone, regardless of gender, should be wary of putting themselves in situations where they're physically manipulating people and not expecting that there might be some sort of repercussion to that, whether it's a physical reaction or an emotional response like anger because the person is pissed they were manipulated. Manipulation is manipulation.
This sounds a lot like Caitlin from Dark of the Moon, Karen Robards. Spoiled, bratty, teenage, raised by an older caretaker unrelated to her. She thinks she's in love with him and refuses to do anything else and manipulates the people around her to try to make it look like they have interest in her and she them to try and get him jealous. The overall premises of the books are different, but this very much feels like Dark of the Moon. So, yeah,
We're going to make some other connection to some other books here pretty quick, too.
Yep, okay.
Christina's little ploys work, and Marco takes her virginity, but he still plans to marry her off and won't marry her himself. So, of course, Christina's pissed about that. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of intrigue and side plots with Christina getting kidnapped a couple of times because, hey, why not? First by Marco's nemesis, a Spanish pirate, the very same pirate who stormed that island years ago. And then her own uncle/guardian who's discovered she's still alive but wants her dead because it's been 7 years since her disappearance and he was about to be able to claim her inheritance. And he ain't gonna let her get in the way of that now. Marco, of course, rescues Christina both times, although it did take Marco a few weeks with the first kidnapping to rescue her because he was severely wounded and unconscious, and she will not forgive him for that.
Okay. In comparison to some of our Border Lord's Bride kind of kidnapping where he just goes, meh, couldn't find her. At least he had a reason. Like almost fatally wounded and in bed and can't get up. That's a reason.
In a fever. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the end of it all, Christina is knocked up with Marco's bambino, and he finally decides to marry her and have her stay on the island with him. And they don't even really need her inheritance because Marco's rich as fuck anyway because of his privateering. Spice level, habanero, I guess. There were frequent sexual interactions between a variety of characters, but honestly, it wasn't very sexy, and I think that's because of the wording and situations, but whatevs, habanero. Things I loved. There is a very nice dedication at the beginning of the book. In loving memory of my grandmother, Inez, and supporting the American Cancer Society in its efforts to help all mothers and grandmothers win the war against cancer.
Very sweet. Yes.
I thought that was sweet. I was like, thank you, Fabio. That's very nice. I also loved the pets. Marco and Christina have some unique pets, including a rare black king cheetah they got off some other ship named Pansy, and a parrot named Cicero who calls Christina bad girl.
I love that. That's fun.
I know. I was like, okay, that's fun. Marco uses condoms. Yay for condom use. Except obviously not with Christina because she got knocked up.
No, but that's kind of unusual for books back in that day.
A man ahead of his time.
He probably lubed it up with butter or butter spray. Just saying.
Right? Some margarine.
I feel like Fabio was like, let me put on this condom, and I can't believe it's not butter spray. He just probably went right for it. I mean, just saying.
Some fun phrases and anatomy references. Cockles of my heart. That one made me giggle. I don't know what.
Yes. Okay. Our friend Adam, mutual friend, he and I always used to talk about our cockles. Constantly. It would be like, oh, tingles my cockles.
I thought it was funny. It made me giggle.
I love it. Like, yes.
Snug sheath, which we've heard sheath before, but here it is again, snug sheath. And Meghan, one of your all-time faves that we have only seen, as far as we know, in one other book. And that would be Laura by Beatrice Small. Manroot!
Manroot
is back.
You know where that was missing was my Swamp Thing book. Marsh should have had a manroot.
Marsh 100 should have had a manroot.
He was a tree creature.
Yes.
Manroot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beatrice Small, for all the things she has taken away from me and hurt internally, she gave us manroot.
Both of us. She's ruined both of our lives.
But she gave me manroot in mine. I don't know that you had it in your book, right? So like,
no, I
feel like she still owes you.
Beatrice owes me so much.
Like, she tried to make it okay for me. She owes you still.
Challenges with Pirate by Fabio. Christina fucking sucks. She's a spoiled and a bitchy brat, and it's totally Marco's fault for spoiling her rotten, and she just kind of sucked to begin with. It's definitely a case of enabling, but I just think inherently she's a shitty person. I hated her. She annoyed the fuck out of me. She's an immature twat.
Yeah, that is Caitlin. Caitlin from Dark of the Moon, Karen Robards. Like, that bitch could not do anything that was good for herself or other people. Just a pain in the ass.
Right.
Yeah.
My other challenge, this weird, it's not grooming, but it's kind of grooming because there was literal grooming. I'll explain. Christina has this mass of tangling blonde hair that does the same thing mine does, where it basically curls and weaves itself into its own little dreadlocks and tangles. But instead of having her nurse maid brush her hair, Marco brushes her hair. From the age of 12 on, she sits in his lap and he brushes her hair at night and reads her stories, which, yeah, for a little kid is okay, but it just kind of gives me icky vibes, and I'm sure it's innocent and all, but because Christina is enamored with him the entire time, there's just something that doesn't feel right to me about it. I don't know. Maybe it's my own warped world, but...
No, I think there's something very endearing and sweet of caring for another person's hair in general.
I agree.
The combing, the braiding, the updos, whatever. And it is always very sweet when a father will learn how to do that for his daughter. I think that's lovely.
Yes.
It's the sitting on the lap the whole time.
Yeah.
When they are not related and he just picked her up as his ward. Like, that to me feels a little bit too much.
And they do it all through her teen years into age 18. And I'm like, I don't know.
No.
I'm sure I'm making it into something icky when it's not.
Only because you know the other things going on. But I do just still think that Again, there's something very sweet about him
Yeah,
wanting to brush
yeah.
her hair and help her out. That's lovely. No issues there. The other stuff feels like it crossed a line given the
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. Also, during Christina's first kidnapping, there were some icky things that happened with the Spanish pirate and his crew. They stripped Christina down and threw water at her to humble her, and then tied her naked to the pirate captain's bed, and he would sit down near her and jerk off, and it was giving me gross vibes like your last pirate book, Sea of Ruin, by Pam Godwin.
I was just gonna say.
And giving me Bertrice Small Borderlord's bride vibes, too. She was never officially raped, but it was still icky and nasty, and I didn't care for it.
No, that's real gross.
Mm-hmm. I was like, this is Meghan's book and Bertrice all over again.
That is like a small portion of what Sea of Ruin was. So, way to add another layer of gross. Mm-hmm.
I also didn't care for the scene when Christina finally seduces Marco. She has the boy he wants her to marry come meet her in Marco's bedroom, knowing Marco will catch them, and starts to seduce the boy. Just as she's starting to realize she might end up having to actually have sex with this guy, which is not what she actually wanted, Marco does finally bust in and break the situation up. But then Marco is like, oh, you just like to bang people now. Fine, I'm going to bang you too. And then he shoves his manroot in her and then realizes, nope, she's actually still a virgin. I feel like this is a trope we've seen before in books we've both read. For me, it was Until You by Judith McNaught. And for you, I believe it was The Flame and the Flower by Kathleen Woodiwiss. Tell me if I'm wrong on that one.
Yeah, Flame and the Flower had a lot of problems. That was one of them. I'll also say Dark of the Moon wasn't too far off of that. Karen Robards. And Karen Robards was a throwback to last year. Kathleen Woodiwiss was this year, Mothers of Romance. But yes, both of them. Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say Marco turns it around and pulls back from her. And then he's like, whoa, wait, this is not the situation I thought it was. But I was still like, yeah, but you still threw it in the hole to punish her. Yeah. Okay, but he pulls back. He's like, whoa, this is not okay. They do, in the same evening, end up having a lovemaking sensual thing, but it is fully consensual. And I don't know how to feel about the whole thing because Christina didn't seem to give a shit how Marco fucked her. She just wanted his peen in her. Like, she was happy when he just shoved it in her, even though it hurt. And I was like, this is so fucked up. So I'm still feeling very challenged by that whole fucking scene because it was so reminiscent to me of other things we've read. And then I was like, ooh, Marco's kind of redeeming it, but then it's still icky. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My final thoughts, Meghan, for this one, despite the icky stuff, this book did not suck as hard as I thought it would.
We were both pretty worried. Pretty worried about you.
The writing wasn't terrible. I'm assuming that's thanks to Fabio's ghostwriter, Eugenia. There were some unexpected plot twists and turns, some fun pets, a tropical island setting, some fun hammock shenanigans. Honestly, this book could have been a lot worse, and it's not the worst book I've ever read. So I'm giving it 2 stars on Goodreads, which equals it was okay. For cents, I got 1 cent, and I did 100% write it down. You and I sometimes miss the cents entirely. I wrote this one down.
Yes.
Woman cent. Whatever the fuck that means.
That's it? Just woman scent?
That's it! Woman scent.
Come on, Fabio. Come on, Eugenia.
I know. I was like, Eugenia, where were you on that one, girl?
It is shocking to me that the worst book of Arr-gust was the one written in 2020. That is crazy to me.
Right.
That Sea of Ruin was so awful that it was worse than Fabio. I don't know how that is even a possibility, but it's true. I don't know. Good Lord.
Oh, so what do you have for Booby Prize, Meghan?
Okay, so the one I marked, and I felt like I marked more than one, but this was the one I was able to find when I went through. I don't know. I feel like we've discussed this before, but I cannot remember. how do we feel about just the word chest? For me, it was the context here that made me have it stick out.
I was going to say, I think it depends on context. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I got.
Yeah. Read it.
Her chest is heaving in a very distracting way, pressing against the sheer fabric of her top. It's more challenging than it should be to keep my gaze on her face.
I think that counts.
Okay, then I'm going to go with it. That's page 37.
Ooh. Okay, I also questioned mine.
Okay.
But I'm going to say based on context, it counts.
Okay.
And page 32.
Ooh.
While Christina watched, wide-eyed and fascinated, Luigi grabbed Maria around the waist, hauled her brazenly astride him on his chair, and buried his face in her bosom.
Oh, yeah. Bosom definitely counts. So weird. I highlighted quite a bit in this book, but not because I was, like, upset about it. It was just, like, stuff that was kind of fun and nice. Oh, I thought this was sweet. When he comes, it's groaning my name against my throat. He makes it sound like a benediction, like a prayer.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I know. Freaking loves it. I freaking loves it.
Well, what do you have coming up on the next episode of the podcast, Megan?
So we are going into back to school, I believe, is the upcoming theme. This is Take the Lead by Johnny Diaz. And so for back to school, we're going for teachers or classrooms, something like that. It's got to be related to back to school.
Education related.
Education. There you go. So, Take the Lead, Johnny Diaz. Popular college professor Gabriel Gallon has a job he adores in Boston. A hot young lover and a buddy who goes along on pub crawls and Star Trek nights alike. But Gabriel wants more. When Gabriel's stubbornly independent father needs help managing his Parkinson's disease, Gabriel takes on more than he bargained for. And his smooth cruising life is about to take a sharp turn as he teeters on the edge of a new crush on Adam, his father's physical therapy dance class instructor. So, I've got a college professor going through some midlife crisis, I believe.
Okay. I don't understand why he wants more than pub crawls and Star Trek nights.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. I mean, when you've got a physical therapy dance class instructor, it sounds like maybe that could add to, the intrigue and why he wants to change things up.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I have. What do you have going on?
I have Heartless Game by Joe Brenner, which I picked up last year when we were in Milwaukee From Milwaukee with Love. The hottest hockey player at Raina U has dark plans for me. Everyone on campus loves Isaac Jones, the gorgeous dimple. You know how I know I'm getting old? I thought it said dimple checked. It says dimple cheeked. I'm like, dimple checked? That doesn't make any sense.
Where?
Let me try that again. Everyone on campus loves Isaac Jones, the gorgeous, dimple-cheeked charmer. Say it now. I don't think giggles.
You've got this.
Sorry.
I believe in you.
I'm sorry.
I believe in you.
Everyone on campus loves Isaac Jones, the
You've got this. Got this.
It's so fucking hot here. Okay.
I mean, you're fucking hot in there. Yeah.
Everyone on campus. Okay, I can't get through this if you keep doing shit like this.
You can. You can. You can do it.
That's like so Fabio, but almost Arnold. You can do it with margarine. I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe you can't read the back of this book.
Fuck, because you keep interrupting me. Okay. Everyone on campus campus loves Isaac Jones. The gorgeous, dimple-cheeked charmer can do no wrong in the public's eyes, but they don't know what I do. I know the truth about his violent past. Exposing his real identity and his family's crimes won't just help me graduate with a journalism degree, it will save my mother's life. When Isaac discovers I'm writing an article that will ruin his hockey dreams and destroy his family, he'll do anything to bury it, unleashing his deepest, darkest, most depraved desires on me. Twisted battles in the locker room, wickedness on the ice, cruelty to keep my mouth shut. The worst part, I'm starting to fall for him, even as I fight back, and I'm not sure who will win our heartless game.
I am often grateful for the fact that you don't show me on screen to yourself while you're reading. That's all.
Okay.
Anyway.
I know what you do. I know what you do. I can see it out of the corner of my eye.
But the fact that you ignore me, impressive. Thank you for joining us today for Romance on the Rocks. Please like, subscribe, follow, and if you are a hopelessly romantic bookish biddy like us, please think about giving us a review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are catching your podcasts. Until next time, just know that your support really means the world to us. Stay safe and know that you are loved.